hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of IPTSE Podcast. Today we have Mr. Anand Choubey from K&S Partner. He's been a patent attorney from last 18 years, almost 2 decades. So let's hear from him. Hi sir.
Hi Utkarsh.
Yeah. So you have been a patent attorney from last 18 years. Can you tell us, like we know about your professional background, everything. Can you tell us about non-professional things?
Well, I would like to start briefly to introduce myself.
Yeah.
My name is Anand Choubey. I'm working in K&S Partners as patent attorney. I'm associated in the firm for past 18 years. I joined the firm in the year 2005. By qualification, I'm a mechanical engineer, and I belong to a place called Jabalpur in Madhya Pradesh. I did my engineering from there, and thereafter I did my master's from IIT Delhi in the year 2005. And then since then I'm associated with K&S Partners. After completion of my MTech, I joined as patent professional in the firm, and since then I'm practicing in the patents. And you asked about my non-work related interests or areas. Whenever I get free time from my work, I like to read books on any topics or articles on related to IP. Also, I like to spend time with my 2 kids, and with my daughter and my son, and helping them in their work related to maths and science in the academic area. Yeah.
Their schooling basically.
In their school, yeah.
Yeah. So you have been very long time in the law field. Can you tell us about some major changes or landmark shifts in the history of IPR in India?
Yeah, so past 15-20 years, there have been a lot of changes and positive development happened in Indian IP space. The one big change that I see is on the digitization aspect. The patent office has completely become paperless. All their filings that we do at the patent office, patent filing, etc., that happens through electronic module only.
Okay.
And all the documents, such as original or hard copies of the documents, are required to submit only when they are asked for.
Okay.
So we are required to submit only the electronic copies of the documents. Also, patent office is able to leverage the resources dynamically. As you may be aware that there are 4 patent offices: Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, and Kolkata. So the patent office is able to utilize the resources while examination of the patent application. For example, if an application is filed in Delhi, it can get examined by an examiner or controller who is from Mumbai patent office or from any other location.
So the process is much efficient, faster.
Absolutely,
Yes,
yeah.
no.
So that has made the process more leaner and more faster, and that's what through these steps actually the patent office is able to reduce the backlog of the examination on the publication. And also digitization has helped them to, we are able to connect with the examiner and controller for any discussion or hearing through video conferencing. That's a very progressive step.
Okay.
And some of these steps had helped them to reduce the backlog of the work.
So like India and law, it's moving towards a digital India goal properly.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you also have your master's degree in MTech from IIT Delhi, right? You told us.
Yeah.
So is that something which we absolutely need to become successful in the patents or in law career?
So patent professional or patent attorney is a profile which is a techno-legal profile.
Yes.
So where one has to have a degree or a qualification or understanding of technical subjects, and also on the legal subjects on patent law. So while MTech, so for me, MTech has certainly helped me in strengthening my fundamentals on mechanical engineering subject.
Okay.
Right, because working as a patent attorney requires that you are interacting with inventors, you are understanding their technology, their inventions. So if you have a strong fundamentals,
Got it.
that will help you in carrying
easier.
out much easier to
understand
the technology in a better manner, so that you can advise them efficiently.
Got
So while if you ask about the qualification to work as a patent attorney or a patent agent, so as per the Patents Act, the minimum qualification is that the person has a degree in science or engineering or technology.
Okay.
So MTech is not an essential or a minimum qualification for becoming a patent agent.
But like a ladder.
But yes, definitely it equips the person. Any master's qualification or higher qualification helps the patent attorney to equips them better to understand the invention or interact with inventors,
Right.
in a efficient manner.
Also, you have been a very highly vocal advocate for increasing youth involvement in IP. So, what do you think is an important part which India's youth is lacking for IP, or which we should focus on?
As we all would agree that that in today's youth, I mean, they are or young ones or young population. I mean, they are addressing some of the key problems that we are facing relating to climate change, relating to
Yes.
pollutions, access to education or medical, etc. Right?
Mhm.
Through their creative and innovative efforts, today's youth is addressing some of these key problems. So, and also if you see the businesses today, I mean, they're focusing on intangible assets, as there are a lot of values they see that coming out from these intangible assets. So that therefore the IP is a very important for youth, because these intangible assets can be protected through IP. So it is important that there is a proper awareness
Right.
of IP among the youth is there, right? And also, so this is one of the key challenges: how to make them aware about the IP, so that they are understanding about the IP, that how to protect protect their own IP, and also help others as IP professionals, but also not to infringe on any other's IP. Right, and also there is a need that our youth is coming up on board as technical advisor and supporting the judiciary as technical advisor and technical consultants in adjudicating any IP matters, particularly patents.
Okay.
So yeah.
So I guess one of my next question is, there's so much of industries in India, and law firms. What do you think the steps they can take with industries and law firms together to increase India's IP involvement?
So I say the law firms and industry can take a lot of steps, and some of them that comes to my mind is creating awareness, conducting workshops and seminars in schools and colleges for creating more awareness about the IP, right? Creating content so that IP concepts can be understood in a simple and in a enjoyable manner.
We are at IPTSE, we're doing the same job which you are saying right now, making the course easier in forms of electronic books available to read, in the webinars and multiple videos. So I guess, do you think it's a feasible course of action for people to take?
Yeah, definitely. This is so creating content is very important. In addition to content, I mean, conducting seminar, workshop, and conducting mock trials, conducting moot courts, so that in a simple and enjoyable manner, the IP concepts can be understood. And also internship, I feel that's a very good option because internship provides an opportunity for students to get an exposure to how that industry works.
Does your firm provide internships to students in IP and other fields?
Yes, our firm provides internship, and the internship is we offer internship for both short term, medium term, and long term. Where the short term is about 1 to 2 months, medium term goes for 3 to 4 months, and long term is 6 to 9 months. So, and also there's a stipend provided for motivation of the interns as per the industry standards.
And what is the criteria? What do you look into the student who's coming up for the internship, for getting selected?
Yeah, so basically we look two things, I would say. One is the interest of the intern, how much they are interested, and some basic understanding about the IP. And the students who are interested in applying for internship, they can apply through our website, and they have to upload their CV and take one short online assessment test, which is a very simple assessment test to see how much basic understanding about the knowledge they have, and subject to availability of these slots, the internship.
You must have taken many internships, interviews of these kinds.
Yeah.
Do you think, is there one lacking or important part which student these days missing? Because many law students watch us, and they are also they want to go for internships, but students don't get internships in law field. This happens a lot. So do you think, or is there something? the students are lacking for internships?
So internship, I would say the basic understanding about the IP, because if you are applying as a student, if you are applying for internship in certain organization, I mean, there are a lot of material available on the website, on the various online material available, where you can understand the basic concepts of IPR, or such as what are different forms of intellectual property rights, what can be protected, what cannot be protected, and all that. So that is something one can understand, and if they are able to develop that basic understanding, grab it, and have good academic interest, and they are really interested and have willingness to come on board as intern and learn.
Yes.
Because that is something which is, if the student is showcasing that kind of willingness and to learn,
yes,
definitely they stand good chances to their internship request getting accepted.
So, are like these internship programs really good for a student who is into this domain? And if not just internship, what can be other things that a student for IP he can do?
So, other than internship, I mean, while internship is definitely a
Great.
good opportunity,
Yes.
and it adds value to their CV,
Yes,
so that and also learning that happens during the internship program
Real
will
life
equips
learning.
them to perform better in any job interviews in
Totally.
relating to IP, but other than that, I mean, students particularly who are pursuing technical education, they can also consider doing some of the diploma courses which are available relating to IPR. Also, the IIT Kharagpur has this Rajiv Gandhi University of Intellectual Property. They can consider doing LLB from there. But these are some of the additional qualification they can add to make their career avenues brighter in IP domain. Yeah.
So there's something that the articles and the publications in the field of law are very heavily charged or paid. So do you think this is a hindrance into getting access to the knowledge or learning?
Well, I would say that the right to access the education material vis-a-vis the copyright protection on the same is a much debated topic,
Exactly.
not only in India but also
How to protect it, basically
on the world.
the students' engagement of that they want to learn, and at the same time protecting copyright owners.
Yeah, so while there are certain, there's a concept of fair use defined under the Copyright Act, and which says that if the copyright work is accessed or reproduced for the education purpose, there will not be any infringement of that. Will not constitute an infringement of copyright work. Also, some of the many institutions in India subscribe to certain paid databases or academic platforms where they provide institutional access to students or their faculties, where students and faculties can access journals, articles, news, etc., right, and which they do not get otherwise access to. And if such access is only restricted to faculty, a student may request the faculties to provide them hard copies or soft copies of such
in any medium.
paid study material. Yes, any medium. And if the faculties reproduces such copyrighted work, and by sharing them in the hard copies or soft copies format, that will not be an infringement in the course of the studies, or if such
Basically,
sharing is
till the
happening in
time
the course
it
of
is
instruction.
not used for monetary purposes.
Yes.
So I guess one of the very last few questions is that you have been through the India's IPR journey since last so many years. There have been improvements, as we discussed, the digital India in the IPR. But do you think there's still many parts in which India's IPR sector is lacking and needs improvement? Anything, judiciary, attorney, anything?
Yeah, there are a lot of improvement that we have observed in the Indian IP space, starting from digitization, accelerating of the examination. There is expedited examination available for a certain category of the applicant, and there is a official fee rebate provided for small entity and startups to encourage them for filing. There are few areas which I think where we can look into where the reforms can be considered. One is that the registration of graphical user interface in design. It's still uncertain in India, as several other jurisdictions provide the registration of GUI as design, but in Indian Design Act need to be seen if there are any amendments needed or any amendments in the rules required to allow the protection of the GUIs under the Designs Act. The second thing that comes to my mind is because I come from the mechanical engineering background, and there are a lot of simple innovations, and which we, if I may call it them as a workshop modification, which do not meet the requirement of or threshold of the inventiveness as required for patent. So how to protect such simple innovations? There are other jurisdictions which provides protection of such simple innovation as PATI patent, innovation patent, or utility model. So India currently do not have any utility model law. So to develop the culture of innovation, if we can protect such simple innovation, and if there is any requirement of any provisions or any law needed for protecting such simple innovation, that will help in developing the culture of innovation in the country. The other thing that comes to my mind is, regarding sometimes a client asks us about if there's any trade secret law in India, because in India currently there is no trade secret law, and trade secrets can be protected only under the contractual obligation. So probably that area can also be looked into.
India needs to work on it.
And one last thing that comes to my mind on the Biodiversity Act related, because Biodiversity Act regulates access to biological material which is sourced from India by any Indian entity or any overseas entity. So while the industry considers that some of the provisions of this act is a little stringent, so probably this act can be looked into if any reform needed in that area, right? So that it balances the objective of the act as well as the interest of the industry or researchers.
So are there any life lessons from your long career, everything you have learned, for basically that if I knew this could have been better by now, so that the students who are watching us or anyone who is watching us would learn from it and may not go on that and choose that kind of situation?
If I may answer this, Utkarsh, like this, when I reflect, I often reflect that, when I was doing my MTech and this opportunity of working with a law firm came across, because normally the legal and technical side doesn't seems to be crossing the paths, but I thought that let's try this, and when I joined the firm, I found the profile very, very interesting and exciting, because you not only get to learn new technologies and learn about the new technologies, and also you have to keep yourself updated about the legal aspects. Right, and particularly on the patent law. So in terms of the life lessons, I feel, as we keep hearing these things, but they are so true, that about that believing yourself and do 100% in whatever you do, give 100% efforts to whatever you do, and so for the students, I would say they can pursue the courses of their interest, and because the person can become expert if the person really enjoys doing something,
and law everywhere,
and put 100% efforts in it, because it is the expertise and excellence which is valued everywhere wherever you go. So that's something which I feel that, and of course I feel that I consider myself as a student, because learning is a continuous process.
It never stops.
It never stops.
So about IPTSE, we provide the students, not the students, the startups, working professionals, faculties, with the courses material on IP, webinars on IP by different industry experts, academic experts, then from corporates. Then we provide them lots of videos. Then we also, after the exam, we have a reward and award function for the people who learn in IP and respect IP from our examination. So do you think it's important for the students currently mostly watching us, then the working professionals also, startups and the faculty?
I think it's very, very important, because currently, as we see, the biggest challenge is creating awareness about the IP. And as you explained, that IPTSE is taking a lot of efforts in creating content, creating that awareness of IP among the students, college students as well as the school students, and also everywhere, and also the reward program, which is very much required for motivating the students coming up with that. In fact, I attended one of the event of IPTSE sometime back, where I see that the awards were given some of the students, school students who attended certain.
We go from class 9th onwards till post graduation working professionals.
So I saw many students and young students coming from class 9, 10, 11, 12, they're coming up and getting awards for certain, the exams or quizzes they have attended relating to IP.
Yes.
So that's very important. And key thing, I would like to congratulate IPTSE for their steps and efforts they are taking for creating this awareness about the IP, particularly among the school students, because they basically have the right stage, at the early stage, they get that awareness about the IP. It's very, very important.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. We will end it here. So, thank you, everyone. This was another episode of IPTSE IPR Podcast with Anand Choubey, sir. Thank you.